I mean, I never set out to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I went to college, I was supposed to get a job and, get a paycheck and all that. The proudest thing is that I'm still doing it 20 years later, or no more, 25 years. And I don't want to say I've made it, but, my home service businesses, I've put them on autopilot.
Vance Morris reveals how he went from cleaning carpets to building service businesses inspired by Disney, creating raving fans and a lifestyle of true freedom.
Now, I hired a general manager about 7 years ago. He runs those operations every day. I spend about 90 minutes a week on those home service businesses, essentially cashing checks and kissing babies. I meet with him for an hour a week. That really, to me, that's the definition of freedom.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum with another edition of the Scaling Up Success Podcast. Today, we are brought to you by Synergist. That is your go-to scalable operations, helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Go check out synergist.com. Also, while you're online, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to all our videos on YouTube and Spotify. And today, I'm super excited to have Mr. Vance Morris on with Deliver Services Now. So, Vance, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I'm ready to get this done and have a little fun, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a good time. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on with your services.
Yeah, sure thing. So just a quick background. I have a little over a decade and a half of experience with the Walt Disney Company. So I have kind of packaged up all my Disney knowledge and now show small businesses, medium-sized businesses, how to create experiences for their customers that will lead into what I call raving fans for life. So if you don't deliver a great experience, you pretty much have no prayer of retaining a customer because they will go elsewhere. And lest anybody think that I am just another consultant, I actually own 3 bricks and mortar businesses here in Maryland, and I have used my Disney systems in a carpet cleaning business, a mold remediation company, etc. And if I can Disneyfy a carpet cleaning business, there isn't one on the planet that I can't.
I love that. Yeah, mold remediation is an interesting one. I know several friends of mine that are in that, and it's a challenge to like you said, Disneyfy it. I like what you've got going on there. Very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. And it's, pretty much any home service business can really almost copy what I'm doing, HVAC or, plumbing or anybody.
I love it. So like how with what you've done and brought your skills in from like working with inside of Disney, has that evolved over time with what you're doing now? Like has your model changed slightly or is it still similar?
Yeah, it changed. So I started my home service businesses first and slowly added the Disney elements to it. Hindsight, I would have started that way right out of the get-go because one of the things that I learned was I didn't want to serve low-income housing. I wanted to serve affluent homes. So after about 3 years, we really made a strong pivot into marketing to affluent homeowners and being able to deliver the experiences that an affluent market is expecting and willing to pay for. So if I had a lesson, I would have learned it 3 years earlier, but it turned out all good in the end.
I love it, man. So like can you like share a moment? Like not everything is like sunshine and rainbows, but how did you take that piece and like make it better because of those things that came across?
Yeah, quite honestly, I was sitting in my carpet cleaning van, had a big old nasty tank of dirty water sitting behind me. I had just cleaned out this, we call them rat nasties. It was a rental unit and full of dog pee. Just absolutely disgusting. And I'm thinking to myself, self, you're better than this. You used to work for Disney, for crying out loud. You gotta be able to do better. So that day I went home and I dug out all of my OJTs and SOPs and Disney stuff. And I went through my entire customer journey or customer life cycle and looked for spots where I could create experiences that would, one, stand out and really generate word of mouth marketing, and two, what can I add that adds value that I can then charge a premium for.
I love it.
So really, it was that was the moment. I remember it clearly, sitting at the traffic light, nasty 30 gallons of water sitting behind the driver's seat. And yeah, it was that was a rough time.
I find it so fascinating with entrepreneurs. We have these moments as we go along. Like I remember, when I put everything I had to and when I was running my real estate team and like I didn't have my first closing for like 7 months because it took a long time to come from the government to working in my own sales. And I remember I was like, man, if this doesn't work out, like I don't know, but then you double down on yourself. I
Yeah,
remember I had like $187 to my name. And then I closed like one deal that month and I closed like six deals the next month and I won
there you go.
rookie of the year that year. So I just find
Yeah,
it really fascinating with a lot of entrepreneurs. We just go through these, it's like test of faith almost. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, it really, I mean, I think one of the strong personality traits I have is tenacity. I mean, I just
Yeah.
don't give up. And if you go back 3 years earlier when I was starting the business, I had a couple of jobs after Disney, got fired from both of them and realized I make a lousy employee. I just don't like to be told what to do. And so when I was starting the cleaning business, we were supposed to live off my wife's salary. She's a regional muckety muck for the coffee company with the green aprons. And the day, like the week before I was supposed to start, she had a cerebral aneurysm explode in her brain.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she was in the ICU for 11 days. She was out of work for 2 years. She's a lot better now. But our income went from, nice mid six figures down to zero overnight. So when
Yeah,
you say you got 170 bucks in the account, I understand that pain.
absolutely. So what are you most proud about this journey that you've been on with what you're doing now?
Is really, I mean, I never set out to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I went to college, I was supposed to get a job and, get a paycheck and all that. And the proudest thing is that I'm still doing it 20 years later. I mean, it's, been a solid 20 years or no more, 25 years. And I don't want to say I've made it, but, my home service businesses, I've put them on autopilot. I hired a general manager about 7 years ago. He runs those operations every day. I spend about 90 minutes a week on those home service businesses, essentially cashing checks and kissing babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But truthfully, I mean, I meet with him for an hour a week, and then 30 minutes is spent on accounting and bookkeeping and stuff like that because I keep my finger on the checkbook at all times. So that really, I mean, to me, that's the definition of freedom is being able to come and go as you please from your business, and the business just continues to run. And
Absolutely.
so that was a big moment for me too.
Very cool. So like I know in all businesses, it seems like we're always keeping up with like how changes happen. Like industry changes happen. So like how do you stay in front of those type of things with what you do?
Well, the thing that doesn't change is human nature. So, I mean, people are still buying the way they bought millennia ago.
Yeah.
They buy on emotion and then they justify it with logic. So that part hasn't changed. Now, the widgets and the delivery and the media, sure, that's all changed. And you have to know what media is right for your business because not all media, you don't need to be on all media, and not all
Hmm.
media is going to help you get customers, clients, get your word out there, etc. So you got to know where they are. I think one of the best things is keeping with offline tactics. Because if you're online, well, that's where all your competitors are as well. So if you're on Flakebook or Google or whatever, there's easily it's one click and they're gone. You'll never see
Right.
them again.
Right.
So I'm a firm believer in direct mail. I for both prospecting and customer retention. And your competitors are not in your mailbox, guaranteed. I mean, the only thing I see in there is credit card offers and the odd Uline catalog. But so yeah, I always recommend to have a mix of online and offline because you also don't own the online stuff, right? I mean, Facebook can turn you off or Google pay-per-click can turn you off in a hot second and you don't know why. And it's weeks or months before you get back on. At least with direct mail, I mean, Postal Service has got a great deliverability rate, still about 99%, say what you will about them. And the lack of competition in the mailboxes is even all the more reason that you want to get offline because there's nothing to click in your real mailbox. You get it and you look at the mail and you have to literally hold it and you make a decision. Okay, do I throw this away or do I read it and keep it? And so, if you're just sending email, you would never get a chance you might not even get the delivery because of
Right.
spam filters and folders and whatnot. So yeah, you got to have a good solid mix in your marketing.
I love that. So as people are growing out their businesses now, like, this next wave of entrepreneurial, people coming into the business realm, do you have like a piece of advice that you give them?
Oh, sure, in a heartbeat. Get a mentor, get or mentors, get coaches. That was probably one of the best things I did, get a marketing coach, a operations coach, a leadership or mindset coach. But you don't have to actually have a live person. Like I love Jim Rohn. I didn't discover him until he was dead. But I feel like he's a mentor because I read and listen to all his stuff. So
Yeah.
don't feel like you got to go get a coach and you got to spend 20 grand a year on a business coach. I'm You can find them, in the library. Find somebody that is an expert in the field, find out what they've published and bury your nose in it. And then if you are with it, in a place where you can hire a coach or mentor, then yeah, because they will exponentially help you grow your business as opposed to little baby steps in growth because they've seen it. They know what the pitfalls are. They'll help you avoid all of the pain and anxiety and get you growing a heck of a lot faster. So yeah, get a get a mentor, get a coach, and pay attention.
Awesome. Love that advice. Hey, one of the things that we do here on the Scaling Up Success podcast is we do a little rapid fire action, like just getting to know that business owner on more of a personal level. You up for a couple questions?
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's go. Do it.
All right. So like you talked about him already, but like you have talked about Jim Rome, but do you have like a favorite book that you're currently reading?
Yep, anything by Dan Kennedy, who's the grandfather of direct response marketing. He writes in a way that anybody really can understand. It's not highfalutin, where he doesn't use big words, and all of his tactics are very sound and applicable. So anything by Dan Kennedy.
Awesome. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Oh, crack of dawn, man, 4:30 a.m. I'm up and out the door to the gym and at my desk by 6 a.m.
Very cool. Hey, you said you're at the gym. Do you have what's on your playlist? What are you listening to while you're at the gym?
I'd love to say it was a podcast or something educational, but it is a 1970s or 80s rock
There you
station.
go. There you
So
go.
you can't always have stuff in your head, so it's my decompression time.
Nice. Who's your favorite band in that era?
Foghat is up there. I love Kansas, and really you can't go wrong with Rush. So
Hey, you cannot go wrong with Carry On My Wayward Son. That
no,
is
you
an
can't.
all-time
Yeah, it's
classic.
brilliant.
All-time classic. I love it. Very cool. Hey, what was your first job that you ever had?
First job was a newspaper delivery boy at 14 and
Nice. Okay.
taught me everything I needed to know about service because I learned if you did what the customer asked you to do, you got a bigger tip.
Exactly.
Mrs. Smith wants the paper between her screen door and the storm door. Well, golly, put it there and she'll give you another dollar during the week. So
I love
yeah, it
it.
was great.
Very cool. I actually delivered papers back in the day myself. I like that. If you had like a superpower like the Avengers or like the X-Men, what superpower would you have?
Oh man, that's a great one. I love to fly.
There you go.
I don't, no jet engine, just me, jump off the ground and soar through the air. I think that would just be awesome.
Very cool. Hey, if you could have dinner with one historical figure, whether living or deceased, who would it be?
There's a couple, Napoleon Hill, definitely
Hmm.
for one. Pope John Paul II would be the other one. I got to see him and he was just an amazing speaker, and regardless of religion, just
Yeah,
an amazing, amazing person. Very powerful.
very cool. Do you have a favorite go-to cheat meal?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Cappuccino crunch ice cream from Hershey's.
There you go. That's a good call. Lastly, do you have a bucket list travel spot that you still need to go to?
Yeah, I still need to get to Lithuania, which is one of the Baltic countries. My mom was born there and she immigrated during World War II, and I have not made it back to her home country, so that is on the list.
But Vance, you absolutely crushed the rapid fire section. Thank you for being so open and honest.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, man. I haven't rocked a quiz in many a year, so thank you.
Well, you came through with flying colors on that one. So, hey, we talked a little bit about like superhero powers, but like if you could time travel and go back and talk to a younger version of yourself, what's one piece of advice you give yourself?
Start the entrepreneurial journey sooner and skip 15 years of pain of working for somebody else. I would have still worked at Disney because I needed that 10 years, base stuff. But
Yeah,
after that, I should have just gone out on my own because I was miserable the next 10 years.
man, isn't that true, man? Like betting on yourself is so much
Yeah.
more fulfilling. I love
Oh,
it. Very
100%.
cool.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Love it. Hey, what impact do you hope your work leaves on your industries when you're gone?
I mean, I'm on a one-man crusade to fix customer service around the world. If one person does something today to improve it and I go to dinner at that restaurant, I'll be a really happy guy because there's very few places I can go and truly enjoy myself just from the nature of my work. I just pick everything apart. So I do. It's a bad. It's bad. There's like two places my wife and I can go eat, and because otherwise I'm miserable. So.
I love it, man. Well, if people are interested in help having your services, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, great. I've got actually a gift for everybody. It's
Sure.
52 ways to 52 ways to wow your customer without breaking the bank. So it's 52 low or no cost ways to help you stand out with your customers and retain them. So if you're not feeling overly creative, you get one wow for every week of the year and you're good to go. And you can find that at wow52ways.com.
Nice. Very cool. That's wow52ways.com, right?
Yep.
We'll
And
have it
it's the
in the
number
description.
52.
Awesome. We'll have it in the description as well. Vance, thank you so much for jumping on the Scaling Up Success podcast today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks so much, man.
Absolutely. Ryan Van Ornum signing off for the Scaling Up Success podcast. Until the next time, everyone, thank you so much for joining, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all of our videos on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you. And until the next time, everyone, stay blessed. Take care.